Hey there, friends. Welcome back to another Legally Armed America video. Of course, Paul Glasgow here, the one and only truth pimp, dealing you a vulgar display of logic and reason on a daily basis. Today's story is not necessarily going to be a feel-good story. You guys have seen a lot of the reports regarding this particular story. I feel the need to go into a little bit more of the gory details to stress a particular point about home defense and protecting your family. So bear with me on this one. On the night of December 6, 2015, Ronald Exantus of Indianapolis, Indiana, left his apartment intending to drive to Florida to visit his mother, but became lost and ended up in Versailles, Kentucky. Slightly before dawn on December 7th, Exantus entered what we'd later find out was the Tipton family's small frame house in Versailles through an unlocked door while the family, Father Dean, Mother Heather, 6-year-old Logan Tipton, and his sisters Dakota and Coral were asleep. The home was decorated for Christmas with lights and a Snoopy figure and Santa attire outside and children's toys, bicycles, basketballs, and whatnot scattered throughout the yard. Exantus again wandered in through an unlocked door, went into the kitchen, grabbed a large butcher's knife, and went upstairs. He first entered the room shared by Logan, a kindergartner at Simmons Elementary, that he shared with his sister Dakota. He stabbed Dakota first in the back and stomped on her head. Dakota later recounted waking up across the room from her bed, displaced from the assault, and seeing Exantus stabbing her brother Logan multiple times in the head, neck, and back, while 6-year-old Logan screamed for his life. The attack on Logan was so forceful that the knife blade bent out of shape and a metal fragment was later removed from a wound in the back of his head. Logan suffered sharp force injuries causing massive blood loss, leading to his death within minutes. Exantus turned to the sister, Coral, and told her that he was going to kill everyone in the family. While he proceeded to continue stabbing both other sisters, one of the siblings ran downstairs to alert their father, Dean Tipton, who of course had waken up from the screams and was rushing upstairs. He confronted Exantus at the top of the stairs. A physical fight ensued. Exantus stood up with Dean on top of him, threw Dean 10 to 15 feet across the room, and then went after one of the daughters again before stabbing Dean severely. Despite his injuries, Dean managed to subdue and hold Exantus until police arrived shortly after. While the father lay there with his son bleeding out in his arms, police arrested Exantus at the scene, charging him with murder and first-degree burglary. Logan was pronounced dead from his injuries, while Dean and the two sisters survived but required medical treatment. An absolute horror. Then this happened.
In 2015, Ronald Exantus traveled from Indianapolis to Versailles here in central Kentucky, where he committed a series of stabbings. Those stabbings resulted in the death of 6-year-old Logan Tipton and injuries to his father and two sisters.
As WKYT's Jackson Plank reports, this family is still stunned. A killer is out of prison. It's our top story at 11.
Just down the street behind me is where the unthinkable happened. Logan Tipton's family say Ronald Exantus came into their home and attacked them, resulting in Logan's death. Now correction officials say Ronald Exantus is being released.
He stood up with me on top of him, just stood up and threw me 10, 15 feet across the room and went after her.
Dean Tipton says December 7th, 2015 is a night that changed his life. He says his children woke him up. He then found a man attacking his children.
And when I got to the top of the stairs, he attacked me. He come at me with the knife.
The night took a tragic turn with the loss of a life, his 6-year-old son, Logan. Dean says immediately after Logan's death, he lost his will to live.
I laid in bed. I gave up. I gave up on life. I gave up on my family. I gave up on everybody. I just wanted to die.
In the years since, the family has done their best to cope, but mentions they are mentally and emotionally scarred, and they are hurt that Ronald Exantus will no longer be behind bars.
Friends, this country was built on conservative values. I don't care where you stand. I don't care which side of the aisle you stand on. Being conservative is not a political thing. There's not a label directly tied to it. I understand that people gravitate towards one particular side based on what their morality is and their ideological leanings. I was raised in a very conservative blue dog Democrat home. Every conservative view that I have today was taught to me by my parents. in that Blue Dog Democrat home in South Louisiana. Things have changed. Again, those conservative views are not tied to a political party. I understand the separation of them because, again, we do move to that particular side. But it doesn't change the fact that we were founded on conservative values, and the more progressive and liberal values are destroying this country. And what better way to destroy it and create further divide and piss people off even more than to corrupt the court system to allow dirtbags and scumbags and downright animals like this clown back out on the street. Let me ask you something. Okay, his defense was being mentally unstable, right? Insanity. That was his defense. He gets off for good behavior, early for good behavior. I mean, what else was he going to do in prison? Not a whole lot else to do. I mean, you dropping soap in the bathroom, throwing dice, whatever. So I expect good behavior when you're locked up behind bars. But let me ask you this. You know, this is the same guy who shook his own baby, hospitalizing them, and never received any charges as a result of that. Then he stabs and kills a 6-year-old that he does not even know. Essentially hunts him down in some strange community by going into his house and murdering him in cold blood as the boy peacefully slept. We determined through the court system and the process that he's mentally unstable. Insanity, right? That's the plea. Why do we let him out? Unless he has direct supervision. When I say direct supervision, I mean no freedom. How did you rehabilitate him? What did you do? In fact, the defense argued that there were no drugs in his system when this took place. So it's not induced by any kind of chemical agent that was put into his body. Now, prosecution did claim that he had something in his system, but it was never proven. So the defense says he is mentally unstable, insane, not induced by chemicals or drugs of any sort, but we feel like he's been rehabilitated. If the brain is damaged to the point where it could bring himself, this guy, to do something like this, how did it get rehabilitated? Who thinks it's a good idea to put somebody back out on the street like this? It's not like you fixed anything. It's not like you found 2 wires that weren't connected and go, that's the problem, and reconnect them and go, he's good to go now. There's nothing that you did. You gave him a pause, is what you did. You gave him a government-subsidized vacation and then let him back out with no change whatsoever. Maybe he's a little fatter, little rested up, but his mind is the same. How can we come to the conclusion that that person is okay to put back out on the street? What? I mean, I'm literally digging into this, trying to figure that out. Who and what came to the determination that this was a good idea? The guy was sentenced to 20 years. He served 7. Friends, this is a perfect example. If there is no other out there ever, this is a perfect example as to why you, especially the protector of the family, whether it's a single mom or the dad, whatever your role is. In my house, it's me. I'm the protector of this home. I'm expected to do that. That is my role. That is my responsibility as a father, not to mention a husband. This is a perfect example as to why you need to own a firearm. If you don't want to carry one for self-protection, fine. Get one and have it in the home. Learn how to use it. Train yourself. Train your family on the use of it in case for some reason dad can't get to it in time or mom. Train the family. We were trained on guns at a single-digit age. We were 6 and 7 years old, learning the safety, the respect of a firearm. We never did anything stupid or silly with a firearm, ever. We respected them at a very young age. Do that with your children. Because instead of this dad, and I'm not faulting the dad, I'm not casting shadows on the father in any kind of way. He is clearly heartbroken, and my heart breaks for him. But if dad had had a DY-12Y with 21 rounds of conversation in the magazine, instead of him having to fight this animal, this lunatic at the top of the stairwell after he had already stabbed 3 of his children. Maybe he could have ended it right there at the top of the stairs without even breaking a sweat. Folks, these predators are out there. They're seeking to harm good, hardworking folks like you and I. In a split second, evil can come through your door and change your life forever like it did this Tipton family. I want to leave you with one last clip, and this was the most encouraging thing that I saw in the entire series of video that I went through regarding this poor young man, 6-year-old Logan, being murdered as he slept peacefully in his own bed in the safety of his own home. This was the only encouraging thing that I took from this entire thing.
I've had my talks with God, because I'm not afraid to tell you all. I told the court, if I ever cross paths with him, I will kill the man. I will kill him where he stands.
Might I suggest the DERYA DY12Y? 21 rounds of conversation. Friends, if these types of stories fire you up like it does me, please smash that like button and subscribe for more no BS takes on protecting our freedoms. Drop a comment down below. Should killers like Exantus rot in prison forever when there is no way to rehabilitate them, or am I just wrong about this? Let me know in the comments down below, and please share the video. Our kids' lives depend on getting this type of education out there. God bless America and stay armed, my friends. Don't forget, guys, if you're looking for a book to educate yourself and to educate the idiots out there who can't think for themselves regarding mass shootings, go to damnliars.net. Again, damnliars.net, and get my brand new book, Damn Liars.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
It's hanging around.